my name is Miriam Ibrahim. Today I will be speaking to Dr. Jumoke Odunsi, founder and managing director of the professional caregiving company in Nigeria. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
Glad to be here.
Today we'll just have a video session to just introduce yourself and tell us more about your brand and what you're trying to achieve in Nigeria. So just to kick off the video, could you kindly introduce yourself and let us know a few things about Dr. Jumoke Odunsi?
Okay, my name is Dr. Jumoke Odunsi, like you rightly said, and I'm the managing director on Wellcare Home Medicals. Wellcare Medicals is the pioneer professional caregiving company in Nigeria. We started way back in 2005, providing in-home care for elderly people and persons requiring palliative care hospitals in their various homes. We also started Nightingales Caregivers Academy, which is the pioneer professional caregiving company in Nigeria. It became registered in 2013 as a standalone organization. And of course, we have a baby in the house, the Freshest elderly care home that we started 2 years ago. That is a residential care facility for elderly people.
Wonderful. Such beautiful companies you have here. And just to be, let our viewers understand what moved you, what was your vision behind this whole organization? These three, linked up organizations. What moved you?
All right. I've had to answer this question 1,000 times.
I'm sure.
People will ask me generally, so Dr. Odunsi, how did you get into this and all that? Well, I didn't just get into it. I'm a medical doctor, and I've been practicing hospital-based care like every other doctor up until 2004. In 2004, I started having, I'm a person of faith, I'm a Christian, and so I had started having the nudge, insight that I needed to be doing something else aside from the practice of medicine as we're all taught. I didn't know what that was, so I knew I needed to take some time to pray. I discussed with my husband, who is he's also a medical doctor. He's also a consultant family physician. And I said, I don't know what it is, but I think I needed to take time to pray. It was difficult doing that while working in the hospital because of the way our schedule is. So he allowed me to take some time to pray, so I stopped working and I prayed. It was in the course of prayer that this vision came. As the vision became clearer, I did some feasibility studies because what I saw was a situation where our older people, our older adults were left without support, without assistance. And so many of them were suffering. Many of them, they had lived very good lives, but when it got to that stage in life when they needed help and support, there was no one there to help them. Typically, it would be the children, and we then started having children not available. Many of them live in the country and all of that. It wasn't even this back then. And then those who are even around, because of the economic situations, are extremely busy. And so people were making do with house helps, bring people from the village who knew nothing, who the elderly people could not relate with, but that was the best that they had. So, or when people come in from hospital after they've had this acute illness and all that, they will still need some time at home to recuperate. There was nobody there. So there was that huge gap in care. People were in hospitals, occupying hospital beds when they actually could be at home. But because there was nobody to take care of them at home, they had to be in hospitals, incurring debt and all of that. And many times, even in hospitals, they will not be able to pay because they've overstayed, their welcome. So that was what led to that. That was what led to it. Everything that we've been doing is part of the vision from the outset. The training was part of WellCare Home Medicals. It was a training arm of WellCare Home Medicals. Excuse me. So we typically would train our staff to become professional caregivers. We train them using, because there was no health and social care sector in Nigeria, so we would decided to benchmark against the UK standards. So we're training them using UK models and all of that. But then we realized that it's not everybody that could work with WellCare. We wanted to have a critical number of trained professional caregivers in the system so that people who are not WellCare staff members, caregivers who are not working with WellCare, could also have the opportunity to get trained. That was what brought about incorporating Nightingales Caregivers Academy so that we could have people, non-WellCare staff members, get trained as professionals, and they do whatever it is they want to do. Some of them have gone ahead to set up their own care agencies, some of them have gone ahead to open their care homes, some of them, many of them unfortunately, are all over the world, like I would jokingly say, the intention of NCA was not to train people for them to japa, but most of them, we train them and they find themselves outside the country.
And I'm sure that the training has provided enough insight for them while outside the country.
Absolutely. I mean, I have people calling me every now and then, sending me messages and appreciating the trainings that they've got, the exposure that they've got, because, like I said, our company standard and organization is the international standard. As difficult as it is, very difficult, I can tell you, because we don't have regulations. It's just about now that we are coming up with regulations, and government is looking in this direction, because there was no regulation and all that. It's extremely difficult to maintain the standard. But we tried as much as lies within our power to ensure that we maintain that level of standard, in the provision of care.
It's amazing how you've carried this organization despite everything you had to go through in the past, because I'm sure it has not been easy in this country where not everybody knows about care. I honestly, I found out about caregiving here. I had no idea anyone does this kind of thing. I always see it in movies and people talk about elderly care homes and all that, but I never saw such things happening here in Nigeria. And it's amazing that you had that call, as you call it, to do that here in this country, and you didn't take that outside the country. You did that within Nigeria, and I applaud you for that. But I would like to move into your brand. I want the viewers to understand exactly, although you've already spoken at length about them, but I want the viewers to really understand what we do as a brand, or what you do as a brand. Let's start with WellCare, right? WellCare, what exactly does WellCare do? Because is it just a name, or is there any underlying responsibilities that WellCare carries?
Okay, thank you very much, Miriam. WellCare Home Medicals, which is another company, we provide domiciliary care. That is caregiving, professional caregiving in the homes of the clients for our service users. And so those services differ widely. We have those who require medical services. We have those who require non-medical services. We have those who require a mixture of both, and we always would provide a person-centered care. So the care you provide for Mr. A is different from the care you provide for Mrs. B or Mrs. C. Everybody differs. Their needs is different. Their person differs. Their circumstance differs. So sometimes when we insist on doing a needs assessment and all of that, people say, no, I can tell you everything about my mom, I can tell you everything about my dad, you don't need to. Yes, we need to engage them, because they are the most important persons. They are the ones who want to care for. So we need to understand them so that we can provide an appropriate, as it were, tailor-made services to suit and to meet their needs. So that's what we do. So some homes you could have care assistants, some homes you could have nursing assistants, some homes you could have registered nurses, some homes you could have palliative care nurses, and all of that. All a combination of all. So it is different. And so the whole idea for me is provide maximum support and assistance to the service users. And in doing that, you are providing the children, family members, the primary caregivers, probably the spouse, the children, and all of that, that peace of mind. And so we're kind of taking over the responsibility of families, caring for their loved ones the way they would have taken care of their parents if they were around, if they were available, and sometimes much more. Because I can tell you sometimes much more. So we create that comfort in their homes. You understand? Make them comfortable and support them every way we can. That's well okay.
I would like to deviate from the brand right now. WellCare Group provides caregivers in the homes of the clients. Am I right? Okay. I hear stories and I see online about caregivers abusing their elderly clients or persons that they take care, like the housemaid you kindly mentioned in the beginning. How do you reduce the risks of, that would be a wrong way of putting that question. What do you feel about the rate of elderly abuse in the country right now? And how does your organization reduce the risks of caregivers abusing the elderly in terms of stealing and causing them pain when they should have been the one to comfort them in their time of need? What do you feel about this?
Very good question, Miriam. One of the things that we set out to do is it's difficult, I can assure you, in our environment. It's extremely difficult because of the way we're structured, or the way we are as a people. But one of the things that we've done is that over the years, we are very rigorous screening and interview sessions before taking on persons. I mean, there are things that we do to ensure that they are right for the job. Would I say we're always 100% correct all the time? Yeah, sometimes we also miss it, but